Hi. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you. We should have quite a few jumping on with us. Just a minute. How are you tonight? Can you, oh, I thought I unmuted you. There.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Awesome.
Woo, I get my hair done tomorrow, thank goodness.
Oh.
I've been like seeing the roots. Ay, ay, ay.
Just in time for summit.
Yes. I went way too long. Normally I do like 8 weeks and it's like 12 or 13, so scary.
My mom's a hairstylist and I still only get mine done like every year, year and a half.
Really? Well, you don't do anything else to it but like a little trim?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. I need more work.
I
need more work done. I do highlights. Probably better not to ever get into that. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me send a message. Hold on. We should have quite a few on tonight, but people are slow to hop on, it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm recording it. So if you want to get started, I don't want to hold you up. So,
awesome.
Guys, this is Kristi Kronser. She is 15 star Diamond. She's been in, I don't even know how long you've been a coach, but as long as I have known who she was, she's been at least like top 40 in the company or something, like at least. Like she's always up there. But she's kind of like a quiet assassin. So she's not like the super flashy one that you necessarily hear about all the time, but she's always killing it. And I watched some YouTube videos of her way before I was a 5-star and up on the round table. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's the cutest thing ever. And I was kind of obsessed. And then I met her at leadership one year and she was just the nicest, most down to earth person. And even then she was like, if you ever need me to jump on a call for you, let me know. And she was just so nice. And so anyway, I am so excited that we have her. She's one of my favorites. So you guys are in for a treat tonight. So Kristi, without further ado.
Thank you. That was so sweet. That I am really quiet. So when I have someone compliment me, it's like blushing and I don't know how to take it, but I really appreciate it. I am really honored to be here. And I was so honored when you asked me. I love being able to speak to leaders and help you guys with your business. So I'm going to try to give you a ton of tips and things that have helped me in my business, and hopefully they'll help you as well. And then at the end, we'll open it up for questions, or if you have questions during, just type it in the chat. I probably won't be reading a lot of chat because I'll get sidetracked, but I'm Kristi Kronser. I've been a coach for 8 years, and 7 of those years I've been an elite coach, and yeah, it's just been crazy. I started this business actually for the business. I didn't start for the fitness. I was an Ironman triathlete. I was working out 20 hours a week and working in the finance industry, and was searching for something to be able to pay off my student loans, but without having a second boss. And so when I found coaching, for me, it was like, oh, I can earn a little bit of extra income, pay off these student loans, not have a second boss, not have to worry about figuring out when I'm going to take vacation with 2 jobs. Like, this is perfect. I worked multiple jobs through college, so I didn't want to have to do that again and have 2 bosses. And week 1, I dove in, was listening to every single National Coach wake-up call. My coach disappeared by week 2. And so I was listening to all these National Coach wake-up calls, and that really, I think, sounds so simple, but every day on my way to work, I would listen to one. And I think that was the one thing that helped me stay focused on my goals and dreams instead of my fears and doubts, was every single day hearing other people's stories inspired me to reflect and think of those goals and dreams that I had every single day. And so honestly, month one, when my coach disappeared, I thought, my coach office says 0. Who am I to think I'm going to be successful with this? Like the idea of earning 6 figures or leaving your full-time job or doing it. Who am I to think that? And I sat back and I thought, okay, well, you could quit. And in another 5 years, you're going to be stuck in the same position. You're going to be stuck with the same bad day, or you can figure this out. And I don't really know how to figure it out. There wasn't a lot of training 8 years ago. We literally had 5 training videos. It was how not to puke on people, which I did anyways. How to get to Emerald, not how to invite people, what Emerald was, a coach on your right leg, a coach on your left leg, what Diamond was, how to get to Diamond in 90 days, meaning sign people up, but not actually telling you how to do that, what Success Club was, and how to earn income. Those were the 5 videos I watched. And the first invites that I sent to people were, oh, I'm a P90X coach. Have you ever heard of that program? Did you want to buy it from me? I wish I were kidding, but I'm not. And all of my posts on social media, I wasn't on social media when I started this. So I had a Facebook account, but I hadn't been on it in 3 years. I got it when I was in college. And once I graduated, never logged in again. And so I logged into that and started posting. And my posts were the P90X stock photo. I'm a P90X coach, just did P90X, Ab Ripper X. Anyone, interested in ordering. Literally, those were posts that I put
up. I did the same post. P90X. It was my cover photo.
Oh, yeah, I did that too. The cover photo.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was P90X, my cover photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And I share that because you can hear all these accolades, Superstar Diamond Coach, Million Club, and look at me and think that's so far out of reach, but it's not. I started just like every single one of you. I got to Diamond. My Diamond was rocky. I fell out, or actually I didn't fall out of Diamond, but I did fall out of 1-star and 2-star and 5-star. I fell out of every single one of those ranks. When I got to 5-star Diamond Coach, I was on the last day of the 6-week qualification, and one of my diamonds got in trouble with compliance and they pulled my Diamond Coach and I lost my quarterly bonus. And I cried. I had just left my full-time job. I needed that bonus. I was counting on that bonus. I pretty much had it in the bag. And it happened where I was getting on a plane when they pulled the coach. So I couldn't even call anybody to try to get another person to Diamond. it didn't work out. And it took me a whole nother year to get back to 5-star Diamond. And I cried. But, and I was I don't know what I'm going to do. It was just emotional. And my husband said, you're just going to do the work and you're going to get back there. I was yeah, you're right. That's what I'm going to do. And, then I got to 5-star and then I was stuck at 5-star for I don't know how long. And honestly, it went from 5-star to 15-star in just a matter of months, but I was stuck at 5-star for years. And I share that because I know as Diamond to 4-star, 5-star, I'm not sure what all of your ranks are, you can think that you're the only one that's going through that, right? Or maybe you've been stuck at Diamond for years. I've seen coaches, that one of my dear friends in the business is a Superstar Diamond coach, and I got to Diamond in 60 days. She got to Diamond in 2.5 years. By year 5, we were both Superstar Diamond coaches. Your pace doesn't matter, your progress does. And that with all the ranks and everything that we can focus on, sometimes we can get off track with why we started this business in the first place. Why you started it. You didn't start it for the 5-star, the 15-star. Those are goals that help you make that other vision and why for your business happen, for sure. But always bring it back to that. That's always helped me. So I dove in with coaching, $70 my first month in the business, $70. And one of the biggest lessons that I share with my team is that I was grateful for that $70. If you're not grateful for $100, you won't be grateful for $100,000. And it's so true. This business, like, be grateful for every penny that you earn, and you will attract so much more to your life. Second month, I earned $800. My third month, $1,200. By my year mark, I was earning over $4,000 a month. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. And by year one and a half, year two, somewhere in there, I was earning $2,000 per week. I left my job at it was a year and 9 months, because I left my job at a year and a half. And the 3 months after I left my job, I just poured in as much time as I could into this business to replace the income that I had lost. So by a year and 9 months in, I was earning about $2,000 a week. And then, so that's kind of my coaching story in a nutshell. I didn't start for the fitness, but I did start using Shakeology. And that's a really big thing that I try to share with my team, is that I have a lot of coaches sign up with me because other coaches tell them, no, you have to do our workouts from start to finish, and you have to do them at home. And I've never believed that. I'm different that way. I'm quiet that way, like Corey said. Because I started and I earned 6 figures without ever doing one of our fitness programs. And that's probably why corporate would not be happy with me for saying that. But I used Shakeology. I used what was called E&E. I don't know if anyone was around that long ago. Energy and Endurance, which was our pre-workout. Energize is better, but I remember when we got rid of E&E, people were like freaking out that we were getting rid of it. I used the P90X recovery. So I used the supplements that we had available to us to help me in my Ironman training. And by doing that, all of the Ironman athletes that I trained with all started using the supplements too, and all started joining my team, because they looked at this opportunity as something that could enhance their fitness, complete their healthy formula, but also as a way to earn some extra income, or some of them left their jobs as well. So that is really a big thing for me, is that help people where they're at. It doesn't have to be a cookie cutter, what Beachbody says it has to be. Yes, of course, try the different programs. I try them. But I know there are other coaches out there that are like, oh, your business isn't doing well. You should do the program start to finish. And if you love doing that, do that. But if you don't, find joy in what you love in this business, because I've never put my business on the back burner in 8 years. And I'm really proud of that. I've never, not once. I've gone through things. I've gone through deaths in the family. I've gone through tons of moving. 60 days into my business, my grandfather passed away. We were moving. We were going on vacation. I didn't have any time off of work because of that vacation. And I had to drive to say goodbye to my grandfather, go on the vacation, drive back for the funeral, and move 2 houses into one while building this business, while doing my full-time job. And it was chaotic. My business still didn't go on the back burner because my goals and my dreams were that important to me. But I also think because I've always found the joy in the business. I don't necessarily fit what corporate says I have to do. Like, this business is built for me to go out there and have a positive impact and help other people create a healthy formula in their life, whatever that looks like for them. So I'm going to dive in. Corey said that she wanted to have me share a little bit about recruiting, which is one of my favorite topics. And I also have a little mindset tips along the way as well. And then I'll open it up for questions. So recruiting. I have always invited to the coaching opportunity because my story is with coaching. So it's just naturally what I invite to, because that's why I got started. Maybe you got started for challenge groups and for the fitness, and that's great. Share that story, get people started in challenge groups, and then transition them into coaches. That's what a lot of my team does. But the tips I'm going to give you are how to invite and recruit and invite to coaching. Do not do an overhaul of your business if what you learned tonight is what you're doing is working in your business. Take the tips that I share and add those to what you're doing that's working. Tweak. Don't do a complete overhaul. That's the one thing I see with trainings is leaders, you're doing well, and then you see another person who's successful doing something and you want to jump on when what you're doing is working great for you and your personality. So when I got started as a coach, I've done the same thing as I did back then today. I'm just much better at it. I invite at least 100 people a week. And if you break that down, it's 15 people a day. I'm my math brain isn't working right now. It's not that many people, honestly, for me. And here's why, because when I invite people, I am just asking if they're open to earning extra income from home. Are you open to working on your fitness and earning a little income? Are you open to getting in shape and possibly earning some income? Like, however you would word it, are you open? I just ask people if they're open for information. I'm not actually inviting them to join me. I'm asking if they'd like information. And that really helps me. I transitioned in the beginning from, oh, you want to buy from me, to, are you open to more information? And then using third-party tools. It's not what works, it's what duplicates. As a leader, if you want to build a big business, that's something, it's not what works, it's what duplicates. So if you're constantly giving people tons of information and you're a good salesperson and they just sign up with you when you're giving them all this information, that's great, but your team's not going to be able to duplicate what you're doing. And so I love Are You Open? Because my team can duplicate that. They can duplicate asking if someone's open to information and then sending a third-party tool. So I've done that from day one, and I didn't even know that I was doing it. I think I just got kind of lucky because my brain works in systems, and I needed, working full-time, training for an Ironman, I needed to be able to get invites done every day in a really simple system. People always ask, but do you build a relationship first? I don't, and I'll share why. I get really frustrated with my personality when people message me to get to know me, to then invite me to something and then stop talking to me. It really bugs the shit out of me. So I would rather them come to me, say, hey, are you open to this information? And then build a relationship afterwards. So that's what I do. I go to people. Joy. Oh, I love it. So I go to people and I say, are you open, to earning extra income from home? If they're open, I'll send them information. If they're not, I'm like, no worries, like, are you open to additional information? If you're not, no worries, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. And if they're not, cool. I continue to love on them. I continue to ask them more questions. I continue to build a relationship. And I feel like that helps set me apart from other people, because most people are building that relationship to ask you to then kind of disappear. And I think that is worse than just like getting the elephant in the room, like off the table. Like, hey, I'm going to ask you to join me because you're awesome and I want you on my team. And I'll tell people that, like, use your language, how you would speak to someone. Like, one of my best friends, I want her on the team. I'm like, girl, you are amazing. Like, my entire team loves you. Like, all of our friends are on this team. You should be on the team with us, right? And I just say that. And are you open to learning more? If not, no worries. I'll keep asking you until you decide. Even if it's 8 years later, I'm going to keep following up and asking, and love on you in between. So that's number one. Number two, or kind of still number one, always 100 people a week. Always. And I say per week because if I did per day, I wouldn't get it done. I just know my personality. And for some of you, inviting 5 people a day or 10 people a day works really great. For me, it stresses me out. I know that about myself. So I like to look at it for the week. These are my weekly goals. Okay, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I can get all those invites in and then just spend the rest of the week following up with people and connecting with people. So that works better for me. Number 2, when it comes to recruiting, follow-up is key. I will say this. I have heard Melissa McAllister say this. I've heard so many superstar diamond coaches say this. Most people are telling us yes when it comes to starting as a coach after 5 to 7 times of saying no or not responding. 5 to 7 times of saying no or not responding. And so I learned this early on, and I'm going to share with you some stuff that I did then, some stuff that I do now that's a little bit different and might be something that some of you want to implement. So about 5 years ago, probably 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I realized, okay, I'd been in the business for 3 years. By that point, we were earning multiple 6 figures, and I was constantly inviting somebody, sending info, following up, sending info, following up, like one by one. And I'm like, there has to be a better way, because in 20 years, I want more freedom, right? In 5 years, I want more freedom. I want to work smarter, not harder. So about 5 years ago, I started creating email. Maybe this won't work for you, but I started gathering people's emails. So when they would ask for information, instead of just sending them the typical email follow-up, I created an email campaign. So they enter in their name and their email to go on to get the application and the information. And the application is just a Google form. You guys can always opt in. My Google form is on my Instagram. If you want to check it out, you can even get the email campaigns from me. It's totally cool. And I send an Google form application and a What is Coaching audio. I do not recommend creating your own What is Coaching audio. I use all third-party tools when it comes to our fitness programs from the coach office. But when it comes to our coaching, there isn't really a video. So I used to use Doug Fitzgerald's What is Coaching webinar, and then the recording just went away. So I created my own using the PowerPoint presentation in our coach office. So if you go into the coach office, and there's a PowerPoint presentation on what is coaching, and I just used that and created an audio instead. So they get the What is Coaching audio, they get a Google form application, and then a couple days later, it says, are you still interested? And has a post. And the email that goes out a couple days later was a Facebook post that did really well. That's it. It was a Facebook post that did really well. So I put it in an email, and that's what they get as a follow-up a couple days later. And then a couple days later, they get another follow-up. And then they go eventually, after about a month, they get 8 different follow-ups. They go on a weekly email campaign, and it's just weekly. My assistant sends it out. All it is a Facebook post. It's just, she just grabs one of my Facebook posts, puts a subject line, and sends it out. And it has worked. A lot of people are like, oh, but email is just like 10 to 20% open rates. I'm like, yeah, how many people are actually seeing your stuff on social media? Like, there's stuff that I'll post on social media that doesn't get great traction and then get sent out in an email, and it'll have a 40% open rate. Like, that's much better follow-up than me individually sending all these messages for no responses. Yeah, a lot of them aren't responding, but every week more of them respond. And I get people, they're like, I've been reading your emails for 2 years. I'm ready to do this now. And they already know. They already know what it's going to cost, because I have emails in there that say what it's going to cost, but it's a story. It's a Facebook post story that I've put up that they're then getting. And I know this is a lot of information. Who do I use for my email campaigns? I use GetResponse, and I can. Do you use it, Corey? No. And I can send you guys a link to get like $30. I think there's a free trial and like $30 off or something. I'm not an affiliate. They do have an affiliate program, but I do have a link for a discount. But again, not an affiliate. But if you want to be, you can be. You could get it and you become an affiliate. But the email, the one thing a lot of people don't start emails because they think it's going to be overwhelming. It's not like I went and gathered a bunch of people's emails. And I just started from where I was and used the 2 emails that I always sent, the first email and the follow-up, and just put them in a campaign so that people could opt in and the information would be sent to them on their own. And now, the really cool thing, when I thought of this vision 5 years ago to work smarter, not harder, to not be doing the same grind in another 5 years, was, well, in 5 years, I'd like to have an email list of 10,000 people. So when I send out one email that's like a call to action, that I can sign up 10 people in one email. Like, that'd be so cool. So I sent out, and I from time to time will listen to different podcasts. And there's this podcast called I Love Marketing. And they do what's called a 9-word email. And basically, it's anybody that's ever asked for information from you. The subject line is their name. And then it says, are you still interested in blankety blank? Whatever that is. Whatever they like ask. Are you still interested in joining one of my boot camps? Are you still interested in losing weight? Are you still interested in earning extra income from home? Whatever that is, right? You can do an email list for challenge groups as well. And that 9-word email sent out to my list of 10,000, which is a big list now, had 300 people respond back to me in June. I had 18 new coaches sign up. Now, with those 300 emails, that was a lot of work, because I'm then messaging or emailing each of them back to schedule, because I get on the phone with people, but I make them listen to an audio first, And then I get on the phone, just like GoPro teaches, just like Get Over Your Damn Self. She teaches you to get on phone calls. I do that. And I get on there quick. They're 10 minutes. They're very quick. I have very specific questions. It's thank you for listening to the audio. What did you like best about it? What did you like best about the audio? You're interested in the coach opportunity. So what interested you in the first place? What got you to reach out and ask for more information? Because obviously they've been on my email list a while. The next question that I ask is, what do they do for work? What do they do for work? How long have you been doing that? And there, sometimes I'll ask a few other questions depending on what they do. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning you have no interest, 10 meaning you're ready to get started right now, where are you on that scale? If they're, usually people are going to say anywhere from a 6 to a 7 to a 10. I usually don't get people less than that because they wouldn't have scheduled a call in the first place. But if somebody says a 7, it doesn't mean they're not interested. I'll say, okay, well, what makes you a 7 as opposed to a 10? What I love about that is they give me their hesitations right then and there, and I get to answer their hesitations using a story, and that is my biggest tool. Don't explain facts. You don't need to give them the facts of the business. They will shut down people's alligator brains. You won't make it past. They'll never listen to you. It has to be a story. And so I always answer in stories. Even if somebody's like, oh, how do I get paid? I revert back to a story of sharing my story about how I earned income. I don't actually even tell them how I get paid. We have videos that do that. I will say, oh, if you would like more information on the compensation, I'll send you a training video and we can schedule a follow-up. I do not explain facts. I explain stories. If they're a 10, I'm like, awesome. When did you want to get started? Even if they're a 7, I'll say, when do you want to get started as a coach? When do you want to get started? Because if they don't want to get started, they're going to tell me. But most of them are like, today? I'm like, okay, let's walk you through the coach enrollment right now. And then if not today, if they have to get money together, I schedule that coach enrollment. I get more signups because you know how you have all those share carts out there that aren't being filled? I don't have that because I'm not sending that. Like if I'm sending something, it's because I'm on the phone and I'm making sure they're enrolling right then. And that doesn't work for everybody, but literally I have more free time because I'm not going back and forth in messages. It's 10 minutes on the phone, 10 minutes for the enrollment call. And then I let them know on the enrollment call, okay, I'm going to send you our new coach checklist. Once you get through that, it actually prompts them to post on the team page, and then we'll schedule a quick 15-minute GSR call. And I've done this similar process since my first year in the business. Things have tweaked and gotten better and improved over time. My language has gotten better. My communication has gotten better, but I was terrified to get on the phone, but I was so busy between work and triathlon training that the back and forth, I'm like, I'm not going to get to my goals fast, and I need to get there fast because my job, I didn't go into the details, but my job was pretty toxic. And once I realized that this was an opportunity to get me out of there, I wanted out of there like yesterday. So I wanted to get through things quickly. And the other thing I want to share with you guys though, when it comes to recruiting, my first year and a half, it took me time to figure out recruiting. I always earned Success Club, but some months it was Success Club 6. I wasn't one of those out of the gate Success Club 10 rock stars. I wish, looking back, I'm like, I wish I was, but I wasn't. I was cozy comfy at Success Club 6. Some months I would hit 20, and then the next month it would be 6. And about a year and a half in, I realized what it took to get to 10. And then now my Success Club numbers are 30 to 40, but that wasn't always the case. Like I was more of a push myself, figure out that next level, and then move up. I started with Success Club 6. That was my goal, and that's what I hit. And for a few years, I was sponsoring about 10 to 15 coaches a month, usually about 15 to 17. And then within the last 2 years, it's dropped down to about 8 to 10. And I was like, what is going on? Why? I know how to do this, and why am I not able to get more coaches? And I think for a little too long, I focused on the problem. And that's one of my takeaways I want to share with you guys tonight. I focused on the problem, of like, what am I doing wrong that I'm only getting 8 to 10 coaches, instead of what am I doing right and how can I duplicate that to get 10 to 15? And the second thing though was my energy. My energy was kind of in this place of, I didn't have a bigger vision for my future. I had hit everything and I couldn't see it. And I know that sounds so basic, but in my first few years, it was really easy to have a bigger vision because I came from nothing. I watched my dad beat my mom. I watched my dad leave, and we lost everything. And so I came from this low income, poor family, and earning 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, was more than I had ever thought possible. And what was that next level goal? What was that next level vision? And it hit me one day. It was the beginning of 2018, I think. And I felt like I've never put my business on the back burner, but I'm losing joy. And why am I losing joy right now? Like, this is not okay. Because I've always had joy. I started in 2011. We're talking almost 7 years of joy. What is going on? And so I poured into a ton of live events. I'm like, I'm going to all these live events because, number one, believe in your ability to figure it out. I'm going to figure this shit out. So one of the very first events that I went to was Brendon Burchard High Performance Academy, and I had been before. But when I went, it was one of my biggest years in the business. Of 2016, my income grew by 62.5%, and it was already at multiple 6 figures. It was a huge year. So it's easy to be on point and on your game with everything when everything's going real good, right? And so here I am beginning in 2018, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm missing. And so I went to High Performance Academy, and it was day 1, and he was like, what's your dream? And I was like, what? I don't know. Like, I didn't know. And it sounds so basic, but I just wasn't clear on it. So get really clear. And I don't know if anyone's religious, but one of my coaches shared with me the other day about a quote in the Bible, and it was something about, she goes, Kristi, you dream journal and focus on your dreams every day. And I do really well, and I'm doing that. And then I got off track. She goes, and I read in the Bible, there's this quote or this verse, and it says like that you should be doing that. I'll have to find it for you guys. It was really cool. It gave me chills because she's like, okay, now that the Bible says that, I'm going to do it. I know you tell me, but now I'm going to do it. And so I literally, it's not necessarily like a dream journal for me. Like, I have spreadsheets of my dreams, like spreadsheets, and I open them, and they're open on my computer, and I look at them daily. And if I'm having a bad day, I go to that and I focus more on the dream and the vision. And another thing is really thinking, like, sometimes we don't realize, one, how far we've come, but that there's still another level for us. Like, I want to push to figure out what that level is every single year. So I'm leveling up every single year. And that doesn't necessarily mean income growth, but personal growth. Like, that personal growth, your income will come. Now I'm getting off track because I have 6 minutes, and I have a couple things I want to share with you guys. One, role model the way. The beginning of June, I usually earn Success Club by the 5th, and I was at Success Club 0 on the 11th of the month. And I went to my team and I said, guys, I'm at Success Club 0, and I want to, and you see the smile on my face. I'm really excited about it because I'm going to figure this out. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure this out. I'm doing the work. I've been doing the work, so I can have pride in knowing that I'm doing what it takes. Not every month in your business is going to be a rock star month. That's just not how it works. That's business. We all should know that. But yet we get hard on ourselves when it's not. But that's normal. And so I was like, I'm super pumped. And here's why I'm pumped. Because if I miss Success Club for the first time in my coaching career, I get to show you guys how to miss a goal and do it with a smile on your face. And I said, so it's all right if I miss it, because I'm going to role model the way for you so you guys learn how to work on your mindset. And you know what? That just takes so much pressure off of you. You're role modeling the way of teaching people how to think and how to have more joy in their life. And literally, I signed up 18 coaches. 18 coaches in the next 19 days of the month. I went from 0 to 18. and I got close to Success Club 40. It was like one of my biggest months of the entire year. But when you have joy in your business, you will attract more to you. And sometimes we can lose that joy. And I did at the beginning of 2018, but I fought to figure out why. What was that little habit? Because I knew any successful person, they just have little habit tweaks that we haven't figured out yet. And that was a success habit that I took for granted, that I did every day, that I didn't even realize was a thing, because I just started my day every day with like writing out what my goals and dreams were, because I was so fired up about them. And that got me really excited to do the work to make them happen. Two, and I shared this earlier, help people where they are. Help people where they are. It's okay if somebody, wants to get started with a free bod. Help that person. That free bod person might be your next superstar diamond coach. And I have coaches right now who have never earned Success Club, never, and they're earning, like one of them earned $500 her first month, and she's never earned Success Club. She has incredible personal volume. She's never earned Success Club. And in the past, I would not intentionally, but I would make people feel bad, which leads me to the last point, culture. I've learned a lot about team culture. I'm not the best. I still have lots of room for improvement and growth, but I'm really excited about what I have learned. And so I want to share this with you because it was really a game changer for me in my business. 20%, you always hear 20% of the people in your business are going to produce 80% of the results, and 80% are going to produce the other 20%, right? Well, what I've noticed is that as a company, okay, so you have your top 5 percenters. Your top 5 percenters, their desire level is to earn 10,000 plus a month. That's their desire level. Doesn't mean that's what they're earning. That's what they show up for. That's their goal. That's their desire. And they're working to get there. They're doing the work to get there. Your 15 percenters, those are people that their desire level is to earn 2,000 to 3,000 or more a month. And again, does not mean that's what they're earning. It means that's their desire and that's what they're working to get there. Your 80 percenters, the rest of your team, are the people that want to earn $0 to $500 a month, and they're okay if they don't earn anything, and they just love being a part of the community. Those are your 80 percenters. That's their desire level. Again, you can have somebody that's a 6-figure income earner whose desire level changes and they become an 80 percenter. What I see as a culture in Beachbody, possibly other network marketing companies as well, is that if somebody doesn't have the desire level that someone else thinks they should have, they make them feel bad. And it might not be intentional. It might be with language, but sometimes it's intentional. I'll see posts where it's like, well, my emerald has a diamond underneath them. Why doesn't the emerald just quit? And that makes people feel bad. That creates a negative culture. And what you want to do is you want to create a culture that people want to belong to, that they don't want to quit, that they don't want to leave, that when they put their business on the back burner, that they're still a part of something, that people still care about them, because you never know when that 80 percenter has something in their life change and they become your next 5 percenter. That person can become your next 7-figure income earner. But if you make them feel bad, they will leave and go to another company. And I share that not because my intention was ever to make anybody feel bad, but the way that I recognize people left out a big group of people. And your 5 percenters and your 15 percenters, they'll show up and do the work. You guys are here. You got to diamond or star diamond or whatever your rank is. Like, you're showing up and doing the work. And you're going to have people that $0, they just love being a part of the community. How do you make them feel a part of the community? The 5 percenters and 15 percenters, they'll just go do it. So a lot of our groups, like our team pages, so a couple things that I did, I'll share with you things that I did, tweaks that I did in my business to actually put this into practice. When I run contests for my business, I don't just recognize the top 3 people, which is what I did for years. So for example, I did a contest recently, and every single person that signed one person with anything, it could be a sampler pack, they all got into the contest. They had to qualify to get into the contest. Just the fact that their name went on a sheet of paper that said that they qualified because they signed up one person even if it was for a sampler pack where they earned $7, made them feel important. When was the last time someone made them feel important? They're not the rock star getting the accolades, getting the recognition. But we want to help people. So we want to make them feel important so they can build their confidence and belief. So once they qualified to be in the contest, then I made it really simple. Help 3 people with anything, and you won. And all I did was give away bracelets. They were little bracelets. They were really cute. They looked super expensive. They were on Etsy, and I got them on sale for $2 free shipping. And every person that signed up, 3 people on anything, got a bracelet. But of course, I don't want to leave out my 15%ers and 5%ers. So I did a race to the top. The top 3 got to have dinner with me at Summit, and they all pushed. You know, it's not that I wanted to leave out the 5%ers and the 15%ers. I still want to create contests and challenges that make it fun for them, but not at the point of excluding the rest of the team. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's what I had for you. Culture, help people where they are, and role model the way. And the other thing, one more thing, 4th thing, I have to add this one. This business, like my growth to where I am today, it's easy to look and be like, she has a really strong mindset, and I do, but I didn't always. You know, it's been this growth of 8 years, and the roller coaster of I hit a goal, I miss a goal, I'm upset, like I lost a rank, somebody quit, like a really dear friend of mine stopped talking to me, you know, all those kinds of things. And with each thing, I've gotten stronger and more clear on other people are hurting. They're hurting. And if I want to have a bigger impact, I have to grow personally so I can understand it's not a personal attack on me. And so that I can give love back. And that took a lot. Like I'm a firecracker. And so when people are mean to me, I want to like tell them off. But you know, over the last 8 years, it's really been when doubt or fear pops in, and it still does, guys. We're selling a house and buying another, and it's a fear point for me. But instead of focusing on the fear, I flip it and I focus on what do I have to gain, like right away, because those fears will go on repeat in our heads. And so I've learned to manage my mindset with tools, with personal development tools that I actually put into practice. You know, even if I had a bad day, I don't know if my husband knows this, but when he walks in the door through the door jamb, like if I am in a bad energy, I don't want to give that to him. That's not a way to live. So he walks in the day, it doesn't matter what's going on. I'm like, hey babe, how are you? Run up, give him a hug. I want to like lift the energy in the room. Be that kind of person, strive to be that kind of person, to lift the energy when you walk into a room and leave it better than before. And honestly, if you work on that mindset of, it takes work. I did a video yesterday, 2 days ago. Yeah. Maybe last week on fear. And I actually give the tools on how to flip your fears. I learned it from tons of books on, what's it called? Neuroscience. I like super brain nerdy stuff. So neuroscience, and learned like how to flip those fears and how to become aware of them so that you can control your actions and reactions. So I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that. People still piss me off. But I've learned how to not allow that to take away from my life. Okay, that's all I have. Sorry, that was really long.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same question. What personal development book do you love right now?
Oh, so many. There's so many. Okay, so a few of my favorites, speaking about culture, especially because you guys are leaders. Hold on, let me grab this. Or maybe did I give it away? No, I didn't. Okay, this one, Freakishly Effective Leadership for Network Marketers. Incredible book on culture that dives into more of the 5%, 15%, 80% that I was just talking about, with additional tools of how to create culture in your team. This is probably the simplest, best leadership book I've read, and I wish I would have had it. It's not even very long. You can literally read it on a flight, 113 pages. Another one that Beachbody gave us that's really great for leadership is Real Leadership.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, I love that one. It's one that people don't think about. When they gave it to me, I kept it in my bookshelf, and then one day opened it. I was like, oh, that's good. Millionaire Success Habits. It's not as much about money if money's not your thing. Money drives me, so that's what drew me to the title. It's by Dean Graziosi. And it really gives you a lot of mindset management tools to help you have more joy as you're going after those goals and dreams. Those are probably my favorites.
Was there like a turning point for you? What happened when you went from 5-star to 15-star? What was that shift like? Because you said you were a 5-star for a long time, and then all of a sudden you were very quickly a 15-star.
You know, I've looked at that because the previous years I only had 2 coaches go diamond, you know, for elite. And one of them was always me. It was always a secondary CBC. And so when it came to that year that I hit 15-star, I had 15 in other business centers. I had 15 people advance to diamond that year. And I look back and it was my energy. Because I look back at my posts on Facebook, my posts weren't great. My posts still aren't amazing. But I look back and it was my energy. It was that I literally, I brought the joy every day. I was so grateful for everything every day. I was uber focused on that next level goal and dream. I didn't see problems. All I saw were solutions. All I saw was the dream and the solution. And I did a few things that we all do now that are pretty normal. Back then, they weren't normal. I started doing Zooms with a group of coaches to help them all push to diamond. And back then, that was abnormal. Nobody was doing that. And so I started doing that. And yeah, there wasn't like anything. I think there was one book I read, and I can't remember. It was one of the money mindset books. It might have been Get Rich, Lucky Bitch, but I'm not sure. And she talks about, have you read that? Oh, that one. It's really great if you have money blocks. It's really incredible. She teaches you how to track your money. And I'm really big on tracking my money and being grateful for every penny that you get. It's crazy. We never get money back from taxes. And we got like a $3,000 IRS check. And then we got another check in the mail for like $2,700. You write all this stuff down. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, bring me more money. What was my point? In that book, she shares how if you're really clear on what you want for your life and you're showing up and doing the work to get there, then God, the universe, knows what you want. If you are dabbling and not showing up consistently and you're not clear on your goals and you're not doing the work that shows that you're clear on your goals, why is that going to happen? The universe, God isn't clear on what you want because you're not clear on what you want. And I had been writing down, here's another thing. I had been writing down 15-star diamond since my first year in coaching. And so I think it literally was just that it was a goal that I focused on and still had joy and enthusiasm and excitement for, even though I kept being way off from it. And I look back, I had a thing my second year in the business, I wrote down my goal is to earn $200,000. And it was my first full year in the business, but my second year. And I earned $37,000 that year. And I still had $200,000. When I earned $6,000 my first year, it said $200,000. That was my goal. And so I've always just been really clear on those goals and where I'm going. And I know that sounds so basic, but I think a lot of people aren't. I don't think people sit down and think about that. What does that, not the vision of what you look like in the house or, but clearly where are you going to be? Clearly I want to earn 7 figures a year. Not multiple 6 figures. I want to earn 7 figures a year. And really scary, but I'm I want to be that old person when I'm 50, 60, 90 on stage at Summit, 8-figure income earner. I want to be doing pull-ups when I'm 90, really clear on where I'm going with my life. And most people aren't. And they don't show up to do the work. So God really isn't sure what you're doing. Like, do you really want it, or do you just kind of sort of want it?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. For sure. Does anybody else have anything really quickly? We've kept you a long time, and we appreciate your time so much. I know that you are busy and have a huge business that you're running, and we just really appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us.
The one thing that you just reminded me of, as far as like turning points, there's like so many in my business. Like, it's never been just a straight arrow, right? I advanced, I fall backwards, I hit like the highest, like a high income, and then I stay there for a couple years. Like, it's never been straight. But I always go back to finding, like, what is that dream? What is that vision? And who do I have to become to make that happen? Like, really enjoying the process along the way of, and we can get trapped in the comparison game. Oh, like, I'm not as good as the top 10, or I'm not as good as that person or that person. Like, really be proud of you and what you've accomplished, because your story, I get chills just thinking about it, because I don't know each of your individual stories, but you all have an incredible story that's going to go out there and have an impact that I can't have because I don't have your story. And that's your superpower. And when you learn to have confidence in that story and you share it unapologetically, you're going to be able to transform so many more people's lives. And I just think through everything, it was just really a personal growth journey. And I know people say that, and I kind of thought that was in the beginning, like woo-woo, like, no, I don't think so. But as my mindset becomes stronger, I become happier. And overall, my business just gets better. And I feel like now, I know Corey's like, oh, you're so busy. I've created systems and I love what I do, but I don't have to work, 20, 30 hours a week. I can get a ton done and help a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's about how much I work, 20 hours a week too. And that's all I ever want to work. And so I'm a big advocate of the smarter and not harder things. So yeah, and systems and all of that. I think it's so key, especially like from early on when you're a diamond and star diamond, and start developing then.
And I could go on and on. It's such a great topic. I'm not fancy. If you follow me, I don't do filters. I don't have makeup on right now. Like, I'm not, and I love getting makeup and doing it for these things, but I worked out right beforehand, so that didn't happen. But I don't do filters. There are a lot of things that I don't do that other people do. And I have a coach that just got started, and 6 weeks into this business, she earned $1,700. And she's posting like, I'm a Beachbody coach, I'm so excited to help you, kind of stuff. And one of the leaders on our team is like, I think I should reach out to her and tell her she needs to brand herself and not brand Beachbody. And I'm like, no, I don't think you should reach out to her and say anything, because she earned more than any other coach on your team. So all your branding stuff isn't working. And not that branding doesn't work. That's not what I'm saying. If branding is something that you want to do in your business, go all in, do it, have fun with it, enjoy it. It obviously works. We have a lot of coaches that brand themselves. But if you don't need a brand to build this business. And that's something my mentor, Ray Higdon, I'm in like a Top Earners Club mastermind. And that's something that he's like, branding isn't duplicatable. If somebody wants to do that, great, but it's not duplicatable. Mm-hmm. And sure, I probably have a brand just organically, but I've never sat down and been like, what is this? How do I build a brand? I literally just tell my story on social media, and I ask if people are open, if they're open. And then I use a third-party tool. And that's what I teach my team, because it's duplicatable. And I want any person out there to be able to come in and earn $500 a month and change their family's life.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff. I think that's true. I think so many people also just don't even get started because they're like, they're stuck in like overthinking. And am I speaking to the right person? And am I using the right filter? And is this is this all like aligned with my brand? And we definitely get stuck in that and stop doing the actions necessary to move our business forward. We spend so much time thinking about that stuff that's really not that important. And I think that's true. It's the passion that is really what's important, because I have coaches too who don't have any sort of brand, like they're new-ish and they're just passionate. And so they do really well because they're good at relationships and they're passionate. And that's the kind of thing that really, it's really going to make someone successful. So anyway, thank you so much for all of your amazing tips and your time. We really, really, really appreciate it. And hopefully we will see you at Summit.
Yeah. Have a great night.
It's crazy. Okay. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Of course. My pleasure.
Bye. Bye, guys.